Giants injury report, major lifts for New York as top players return to field. The New York Giants feel the pressure going into the 2025 NFL season. With the front office turned upside down in the off-season and coach Brian Daboll and GM Joe Schoen barely saving their jobs, there isn't much margin for error this year. On the positive side, the Giants did catch a little break based on some of the injury reports this week that stand to shape things up a bit for them as they head toward this season. The biggest news to come out of Giants camp on Tuesday is the activation of left tackle Andrew Thomas off the PUP, physically unable to perform, list. Returning Thomas firmly into the mix is an absolute game-changer for a team that dealt with a beleaguered offensive line last season. Thomas, who has now developed into an enormous figure for the Giants, will be vital to protecting quarterback Russell Wilson and creating a strong foundation to the offense. Thomas had been sidelined by an injury, but with his return the Giants' offensive line has one fewer question mark hanging over it as it readies itself for the regular season. Read and react is even more critical when you consider how crucial an O-line is to a team's success, which is something the Giants haven't had in too long. But Thomas was not the Giants' only piece of good injury news to come out of Tuesday. The Tigers also welcomed back a couple of guys who hadn't played in a while, Malik Nabers and GiantsCam Skattebo. Here's a closer look at both players, and what their return means for the Giants heading into the 2025 season. Wide receiver Malik Nabers missed practice a second consecutive day with a back injury. He also had missed 2 preseason games for the Giants, raising questions about his status for the season. But now, the good news is that Nabers is back on the practice field and ready to make a statement as the group goes through the motions for the regular season. Nabers had a strong start with the Giants, and having him healthy provides some depth for the receiving corps. With the team preparing for their season opener, having Nabers at practices are an important step to making sure New York has all hands on deck when the offense prepares to attack. With a veteran wide receiver core ahead of him on the depth chart, Nabers could begin to make hidden contributions next season. His presence not only makes the offense better but also gives Mark D'Antonio and his staff confidence that their more important pieces are beginning to get healthy and are healthy enough to impact a football game. GiantsCam Skattebo, out with a hamstring injury that has kept him sidelined the past few weeks, is also returning to the practice field. It had been a situation on Skattebo's mind, particularly with the season quickly approaching. He had missed practice for weeks, so questions already loomed about whether he would be ready for week 1 of the regular season. But if Skattebo is back on the field, that's a good development for the Giants. While it's not entirely clear yet what factor Skattebo will play for the team's season this year, his return provides a depth of talent to a position group that may be crucial as the team finds its way into a new season. A recovered Skattebo adds some versatility to the offense, and getting him back into the rotation may prove beneficial in terms of playmaking for the next 4 games. The big QB debate, Jaxson Dart as the Giants' 2025 starter. One of the questions being kicked around for the Giants at the hot stove this offseason is whether Jaxson Dart should be the first-string QB for the 2025 season. Dart, who has looked strong in the preseason, has many fans and observers excited about his potential. Even ex-NFL quarterback and current NFL free agent Chad Daniel thinks Dart might be the solution for New York. They need weird. They need outside the box. And what Jaxson Dart adds for them is a real threat with the football in his hands. Which Russell Wilson does not do any longer. Evidence is so evidency that you can hardly blame Daniel for making this argument. His ability as a runner to act as a playmaker with his legs may provide the Giants with a new dimension on offense. Veteran signal caller Russell Wilson has not been noted for his mobility in years, and while the veteran still has plenty of upside, we can no longer take it for granted that he will be able to extend plays with his legs. But despite Dart's strong performance in the preseason, the Giants are still going with Wilson as the probable starter for the season opener. There is zero question that Dart is squarely in the conversation for QB2, and the backup will of course be that and only that for now. That's a reasonable decision since Dart remains a rookie, and it's extremely difficult to have a dramatic change in the starting quarterback just weeks from the beginning of the regular season. That said, if Wilson struggles early in the season, fans could begin the chance for Dart to get his chance at starting. Giants fans are passionate, and they could readily embrace Dart if Wilson fails. A deeper dive run right, please. The Giants' offense is so bad that Mr. Kyle and the hated 49ers just might be the tonic it needs, or at least it could look a whole lot better against them. If it doesn't, we might just have a quarterback controversy soon. The Giants are loaded and primed for the 2025 season with their dynamic playmakers returning in Andrew Thomas, Malik Nabers, and GiantsCam Skattebo. The return of these players could potentially address areas of liability for the team, especially at the offensive line and wide receiver positions. At quarterback, Dart and Wilson will bring the comparison game with them all season, so both will look to create a chasm in their seasons between this game and next week's against Arizona State. But as their fans know, in a league where injuries are such a risk, the Giants will need their players to stay healthy if they want to mount a serious playoff push. Between now and the opener, Giants fans will be counting down the days until the team opens its doors for business and are hoping the club will be able to reverse their fortunes and finally live up to the potential they've alluded to in spurts. Would the Giants open with Jaxson Dart ahead of Russell Wilson? Can returning injured players make this a successful campaign? With the 2025 NFL season underway, tune in to see how the drama unfolds in the Big Apple. Giants fans, what's your take? Is Jaxson Dart the quarterback of the future? What do you think about the injuries updates and the team's potential success this season? Join the discussion and let us know your opinion on social media. Prepare yourself for an entertaining season of football.